Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO DC Supervillains. At the end of the last episode, the game crashed once again, just straight to desktop, no error pop-up or anything like that. So we didn't have the full wrap-up, so we can see now we're starting at 27 million. We still need to get to 50 million before we can get the next stud multiplier, and we're at 48.5%. We've gotten some more gold bricks, although we really didn't make that much progress in the last recording. Getting these gold bricks are somewhat difficult. Let's see if we've already started this mission mode. I guess we haven't, so we'll start it once again. Noticeably, when you start this mission, you start to see these dots on the radar. And these dots on the radar seem to have one off in this far direction, which arguably maybe that should be the very last one to get. I'm playing as Aquaman instead of flying. It's probably a mistake. And apparently I can't steal this car unless I'm really close to it. So here's a guy.
Go. You know they ain't real, right?
Okay. So we know what we're looking for now. We're looking for someone who's standing, probably stationary. And who we're just gonna hit B, press B. And when all's said and done, that's going to let me I guess in this instance we can also collect this, which is funny, this wasn't here before. There's all these targets.
Time to get to work.
I don't know what I'm supposed to shoot here. Locked myself in that side of my hotel room this time. Don't tell my wife we can't keep paying for the key deposits. Oh, so it is literally a female on female lesbian marriage in a kids DC Universe game. That is interesting, certainly. Because you would have imagined that LEGO, being a very more international game, would have, or company, would have said no to that. And so I feel like this has been snuck in, or they just figured nobody would really find it to complain about it. LEGO obviously wants to sell LEGO sets in much more conservative parts of the world too, where it would be illegal, possibly punishable by death, to be homosexual. And I would say there is also very much a group of conservative, anti-gay people who probably buy a lot of Legos in favor of not buying other toys. So this is going to be a challenge of just finding the right angle to shoot the other shots from. There we go. I like the jump platform idea. It's a shame this game didn't have more of that. And then you could have addressed like you could have gotten rid of the flying abilities of some characters in favor of jumping and platforming, and making it more of a parkour game. Okay. Somewhere around here is another character to talk to, but I don't see him. So he must be on the other side.
Terrible advice for a farmer who makes their living from selling eggs.
Man, it just seems like there's people all over the place. But it's not going to be walking people. It's going to be somebody standing still. Echoey voice lines. I assume when we hear echoey voice lines, that's just bad audio recording. That it was just recorded in a non-soundproof room. If not, then it's some weird experimentation of adding sound effects to lines of dialogue for no reason. Water shortage reported on Main Street. Holes in water tower discovered. So we are going to get a notice every time we do something. Well, I thought that might unlock a challenge.
Walking around
or an achievement.
is great for staying in shape.
Okay. On top of this building. Unless somebody was hidden in the air conditioner units. There's just nothing here. Alright, so we should just move on to the next character. We may have to go in circles and find different people in different places. We know that's just a gold brick. It's just a blue stud on top of that. Here's somebody to talk to.
Hi, there's some big inspection in the center of town today. Apparently they found something big down in the mine.
So, maybe that's the last person we have to talk to is down in the mine, and then it seems to me like there are straight up points here where person will be, but they aren't. So either the game is glitched or there's a specific order in which all of this has to be done. Like we can't get in this room. And I don't think there's a secret lower underground area. If this is an intentional thing where characters are just not where they're supposed to be,
Okay.
that is completely unacceptable. Let's look at the map. Yeah, we have a character here, a character here, and a character here. They're all supposed to exist. We have a race here and a race here. We have a gold brick here and a gold brick here. Right. Somewhere there's supposed to be a character.
Why are they go anyway?
We get the police chasing after us for beating up a chicken. That's weird. It's not a terrible thought, but
Just say Batman.
the radar is not particularly helpful. It's just a very wide area to potentially search. I don't even think you can get in the bookstore.
You're having a great day.
Busy.
When you walk towards this direction, it gets bigger and bigger.
Not counting your chickens before they've hatched. Here.
Here's a guy.
I'm gonna get a big commission for my delivery job today. Supposedly we're transporting something really valuable from the mine.
Okay.
I think I'll call it a day.
Arguably, this not being a Lego gate is a problem, and this being a half-open gate is a problem, where everything else in the game is pretty much at right angles. And I just don't see a reason why you would have this barbed wire fenced-in gated area. Okay. So then that tells me that we do have to just look in the background areas. Is it possible? The last character is somewhere over here. Nope. Could he be somewhere over here? guess those are supposed to be Lego bales of hay. I wonder how frustrating it would be to work on a video game, make a kid's game, and then at the last second be told actually it's a Lego game and the visuals that you'd been working on for several years get changed to just standard Lego visuals. Not that the Lego visuals are bad or anything, it would just be really shocking if one day all of a sudden your game looked drastically different. Here's like a shoe shine station, which is an interesting Lego design. Maybe it's this guy. It is.
Nth metal. Is that what all the kids listen to these days?
There are some DC storylines called like heavy metal and such that both involve special magic metals and are definitely trying to sell on the idea of heavy metal, death metal being something that kids might be interested in listening to.
Why do they call it Smallville? I think they should call it Mediumville. It's bigger than small, isn't it?
Okay. So I think at that point we have talked to everyone and that there isn't anyone else to talk to. So what we would expect is a email notification to pop up to tell us to go back and talk to this guy. Although I really feel like it should be newspaper announcements showing up at the top in front of the screen, not an email notification in the lower left. There's really no need for this game to have integrated a cell phone concept that much, even if that was a thing that really didn't even matter that much at the beginning of the story.
What you have assist me.
Smallville's too medium-sized to be anything other than Mediumville. Its name should change. Something found in the mine is to be inspected in the town center. Nth metal is a new genre of music enjoyed by the youth. Something valuable is being transported from the mines. And ghosts aren't real. What are you? What even are you? Let's just start with that one. So the wrong answers don't get you any extra response, and this is a very weird. This is a weird interface, certainly. That.
This isn't a game, so don't play with me. I do not have this nonsense.
So if you get 3 wrong, it doesn't mean anything. So I guess I could have gone to 2 specific people and gotten 2 right answers and ignored the other 3 ones. But boy, does this not feel like a Lego game. This feels like some experiment some programmer or intern was working with, and it didn't get very far.
That does sound most intriguing. So the metal is being transported from the mines to the center of the town. Well then, we better get on our way or miss opportunity.
There's a gentleman ghost. Is following us, I guess, now. And I guess we'll just follow the stud trail. It's funny that they could program this to have an extra character follow you, and they didn't do anything like that as far as a escort mission or anything like that. I feel like the center of town would be the middle road, but I guess not. It's this. So are we just gonna steal this?
Foolish mortal.
Okay. We need to switch to somebody else, I guess, to break this.
Excuse me. I meant to say my associate will be closing. In the meantime, feel free to call my service as my gratitude for your assistance today.
It's an interesting idea to have a Lego ghost character.
It's no tiny old man yet, but it's a start.
Let's see if we can transfer ourselves to Gentleman Ghost and get some information about him. Let's see, where would he be? The problem here is the DLC has moved the characters around, so when it shows us the unlocking sequence, it's putting him in a different position. And they could have fixed that fairly easily by just having all the DLC characters start on a separate line and not change the orientation of how many are on a row and how many are in a column. So I guess we're just looking for G. So that'd be $500,000 to purchase him. Really shouldn't spend $500,000 at the moment to purchase him, so I won't. We'll come back to that later. And it's weird that they used a wagon to bring nth metal. So we have this, 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 and this. Let's crypto the super dig. Let's go that way. And I feel like Gentleman Ghosts should probably stop following us at this point.
For the 14th time, I'm sorry. No, in my defense.
There is no defense.
Interesting, they have a bicycle here, not a truck.
Actually, there's a reality.
Yeah, I heavily suspect Biolia is not actually a real country. Okay. And then reverse flash.
The professor is
There it
here,
is.
so let the teaching begin. Mere child, some of my fault.
I think it would be much more interesting if you ran around all of Smallville as a reverse flash. Try to stay in the middle. Maybe I can avoid taking damage. Nope. I couldn't even stay in the middle when I was trying to.
We're in business now. Or we want to switched on.
Yeah, you could definitely have a system that was closer to like a Far Cry tower that would have revealed some of the map by finding the flash and a flash spot to use a speedster to run around and look.
What?
And you could have thought of some other areas.
I should be able to this.
I'm not afraid to do what needs to be done.
Okay. So Sinestro is the right character. But there's some other thing that needs to be activated. It seems to be hidden. The idea that you'd have to be all the way up here is kind of crazy, but that's exactly it. I really wouldn't have ever thought of that.
Are you sure this is the right tool for the job? It seems a little off. No, but it'll do a better job. Rolling machine, whatever.
So they wanted a laser bending gimmick, which is fine, but why not have that in a level instead of just in the middle of a Smallville?
It's the greatest power in the universe.
That's another sunflower. Well, this is fairly slow going. Let's just see. I guess the thing to learn here is if there's a mirror master mirror here, then maybe there's a mirror master mirror somewhere further away. Let's start with that assumption. Okay. I don't know who would have thought it was a good idea to power a drill with an industrial laser beam, though. I've started noticing these weird technological configurations everywhere, but nobody seems to bother by them. I don't know who would have thought. Which one am I highlighting?
Hey, buddy.
Thanks for helping out with the drill. We'll try with the Riddler.
So many riddles to try out today. Where to begin?
There's a cat. What's the name of this thing, anyways? Chicknosis. So, should be like a chicken somewhere, I think, that I'm supposed to hypnotize. But noticeably, I don't see any chickens. Except for this one. I don't really have a hypnotize chickens ability with the Riddler, so who else possibly would have that ability? You have these little chickens. And they kind of follow you around. They kind of just bounce around. There's another sunflower. Which the fact that I've seen 3 sunflowers in this area does inspire some confidence that all the sunflowers might be in this area in Smallville. All these Lego animals would have been characters in other Lego games. Lego City, Lego Worlds. I think if the audio changes, that probably tells me we've gone too far. Is this supposed to even be the Kent farm? That's an interesting question. This could be the Kent farm, but then the family living there didn't look like the Kents. Let's see.
My plants are calling to me. I mustn't fail them.
Poison ivy doesn't make a lot of sense either. Cheetah? Cheetah and a cat kind of makes sense. So are we supposed to follow the cat? Seems like it just kind of walks away in a general direction. I see a arrow telling me where to go. Just pressing the B button here doesn't do anything. Okay. We have electricity, water, fire, ice. Brain. Let's just go through the ability filters. We have acrobats, advanced swimming, beam deflection, chlorokinesis, detective mode, dig, drone access. Not a lot of people with drone access. Electricity, explosives, explosive bolts, flight, fuse box access, glide, goon command.
Let's put a miles on some face, shall we? Hey, buddy.
Was that possibly what it was supposed to be? Is that you were supposed to be able to goon control some characters? Doesn't seem like it. Graffiti, grapple, heat, heat bolts, ice, illumination, impact switches, lantern constructs, mind control, mirror portals. I mean, Vibe is a DLC character, Constantine is a DLC character, Raven is not available. Okay. Let's see. Feels like this should be breakable. I go over here and run over a chicken. It does nothing. If I shoot a chicken, that does nothing. Well, I'll be darned, that looks like that worked. And you were just always able to shoot through the wall. So you were just supposed to shoot through the chicken wire, and they really didn't make a good explanation around that. So we go here, and that rotates here. And then that lets me swap to another chicken to free another chicken. I would have really expected it to be more of a case where you would have controlled one and only one chicken, not multiple chicken. So we're really going in circles here. So now everything is just rotating by itself. And once we get in there, it automatically opened and rotated the wall. You just have to tap the X button to shoot. Well, the good news is that we now know that Mirror Master puzzles very possibly will have us cheating a little bit. Do we have any flying vehicles that are unlocked by default? No, so I have to spend 25,000 to You get a helicopter, which is not terrible. Of course, once you introduce a helicopter as one of the Lego vehicles, then you once again create a weird situation where you can fly anywhere you want to go, and there's seemingly that was not an acceptable vehicle, apparently. But it does seem like people that can fly are acceptable. So I should have just done that in the first place. Locals asked to stay alert in the Kent Farm area. Reports of interdimensional chickens more at 10. So that is the Kent Farm area. Interesting. And this is really just going to come down to how well I can control altitude. Because it seems like there's a tendency here to tilt upward. So I'm having to tap A and B a lot.
This has hidden magical properties.
Alright, that was a decent race. Not crazy. Kryptonite Crash. There's one more gold brick to collect in Smallville. Let's see what we have to do here.
I'm fine. But the treasure. How's the treasure?
Alright. There's 6 more of these sunflowers. And sometimes it doesn't want to activate the digging when I hold down the B button. One more. One more is probably... If 4 of them were all around this area, then you would think the 5th would be fairly close.
Oh, what happened? So that crate is okay then?
So this is the people that we got the kryptonite. We helped get the kryptonite for. So this was a gold brick that was not available. And I guess the implication is that they crashed because they had a gold brick in their roof.
A little sniff of Maru virus is all it takes to repair the mind for a moment. Weaponized kryptonite will be a valuable commodity to an organization.
But it's not.
Quiet. I've been looking out for new test subjects. Just be grateful you don't meet my criteria. And get back to your scavenging.
Well, I guess that kind of works out. Seems it wasn't actually kryptonite at all. Just precious jewelry grade emeralds.
Largest one discovered in North America. Worthless rocks.
So that's interesting that there was a villain, Dr. Poison, introduced. And so I wonder if there are going to be continued narrative stories with these characters and maybe even more gold bricks. This does seem like it could have been a running gag. Okay. What kind of person do they want? They want a parkour person. Seems to be Cheetah fits that description. That being said, I don't know if Cheetah really is the fastest character ever, but if anything, it probably helps to try one of these races with a slower character and just get a general idea of whether or not these races are actually that difficult, or whether they just give the impression of being difficult and they're actually pretty easy. There is a danger here that we'll run out of time, or that this is going to ask us to do some major parkouring. Right. So we're at 54 seconds on the left, we can see, and we have 1:25 for gold. We have 7 more to collect. Retry. This time, let's pick somebody fast.
Fastest man alive, beating into action.
Alright. The issue here, of course, is playing as the Flash. He may move too fast for his own good. And this does highlight an issue where Flash basically breaks any of these races as being too easy. But that still took a minute. So that does really imply that Flash is basically the only person that could have gotten that done. So Dr. Poison says maybe I should leave the morally ambiguous biological weapon industry for the morally ambiguous fashion industry. Ta-ta. Or thank you for listening. With TT, talk to you later. This is not kryptonite. It would look good on jewelry though. So we read those emails out of order. Okay. So we've gotten all the races and everything done, but there is a new character unlock challenge now. So there's some open world gameplay mechanics here to push you forward and keep you in Smallville to do some more things. This seems to me like you don't need to do the races with both the vehicle version and the character version. Seems pretty obvious you could have eliminated all the vehicles in this game and you wouldn't be missing much.
Very crafty indeed. There's been reports from this sector about his bird activity of unknown, possibly extraterrestrial origin. The rest of the Corps dismissed it, but I suspect something more.
So you have a Green Lantern squirrel here.
Anyway, I could use some backup because you probably noticed a little shorter than most lanterns, and never hurts to have someone tall. What do you say? Alright, let's go kick some feathers.
Meanwhile, while we do this, we'll try to keep an eye out for any more sunflowers. Where'd he go? Here he is. So we're just chasing after a squirrel.
Hold up! Potential Eagle Scout ahead! False alarm! Looks like it's innocent chicken crossing the road. But why though?
Obviously this is a joke character, parody character. I bet he does show up in some comics at some point. But
Eye out for potential baddie. Lots of people see the ring and think, shiny, we'll take that without thinking about what it can do.
Oh, shiny. We'll take that.
might be worth it to turn off the confetti thing. It's interesting we're just beating up bad guys in suits. Yeah, none of these extras really are interesting. They might have been slightly interesting the first time you saw them in the first Lego game you played, but by even the second or third it would have been very redundant because it's always the same gimmick.
False alarm! Looks like those particular villainous aviators have been locked up! We should keep searching.
Interesting that was a cutscene. And this does give me an excuse to look around for more sunflowers.
Further proof that Chip Fury is up to his old tricks. He loves agricultural machinery.
Is that talking chipmunk?
In brightest day, in blackest night.
This really is serious as all that.
Let those who worship evil's might beware white power. Green Lantern's light. Let's get those feather fiends.
So are we fighting them? I guess we are. They're aggressive and attacking me. I think I took them all out.
They're bringing in reinforcements somehow.
You can't even see him in this tall horn. Is there a certain number of these I'm supposed to beat up? It's interesting my co-op character is actually doing anything. I kind of expect them to just stand around and do nothing all the time. Did we do it?
Thanks.
Mission complete. Sort of. It's still not clear whether or not those fowls were actually affiliated with Fury or his Eagle Scouts. But no matter, the battle is won.
Got it. I wonder how fast another one.
So, as an odd joke character to introduce as DC character, but whatever. So this does put us in a weird position where I suspect that all of the remaining sunflowers are either in Smallville or on the road to Metropolis. There could be other things in Smallville too that we've missed. I can run around pretty fast, obviously, as the Flash. Brawl involving chipmunks and chickens reported at the Kent farm, playing alternate route. Of course, running around like this isn't getting you massive amounts of studs, even with the stud multipliers that I've already purchased. So this is not really a good way to grind. There's lots of things that can be broken, but they don't seem like they're working towards a challenge. That's 6. Which that definitely implies that there are 4 more in this area. It would be very strange for the remaining 4 to be somewhere else. There's a lot of buildings around here that don't really connect to anything. That's 7. And as you accomplish things like the statue, which was right there, the world gets emptier. Is this supposed to be something? So you have 2 goons, and stealing that car immediately gave us a level 3 police, like GTA level, but there are just absolutely no police anywhere around, so I don't even see the point to that. If anything, it feels like maybe there would be a challenge or an achievement around the idea of staying at level 3 for as long as possible. I'm not sure that's really the case. It's just taking it a really long time to go down as far as the police alertness, and you're just back to back. Right. So the challenge of the Sunflower Smasher. It's always nice seeing that one lonely sunflower when I drive into Smallville. I hear the mayor's big fan of sunflowers. Kind of funny, any flower surviving unscathed so near a tractor repair shop. Okay. So we've got this. The mayor's office, I assume, is here. Okay.
I believe in you. I need someone to believe in. This will be enough for the clown.
And then, like, doing that just gets us studs, and not even a large amount of studs to really justify robbing it. So it's fairly obvious that there are some semi-random generated content once the world becomes emptied of the more scripted handmade content. Is there anything in here? Nope. Here's a sunflower. It's still very possible that there are other challenges in Smallville. We'll have to look at the other challenges and see if there's any implication of that. Welcome to Smallville. We'll just scan left and right with the camera. We may end up going backwards and forwards on this road a couple times. anything up to a sign that says welcome to Metropolis. At that point, I would say we've gone too far. It would feel like we probably have gone too far even at this point. Yeah. I would say that is the absolute last place. Once you cross this line, you're definitely out of Smallville. And these little studs on the corner here seem like they're nothing, and it really doesn't seem like there's anything over here. Which, yeah, that's weird. That you'd have just studs on the side of the mountain. So back we go. And it is just a hint, right? As far as these challenges go. One lovely sunflower when I drive into Smallville. Yeah, it's just a hint. You can't mark it on the map. The radar doesn't show anything. So you will just have to find it. Unfortunately, we really have hit a point where it's taken us 3 hours just to do the Smallville area on the map, which means, well, maybe there's a little less happening in Metropolis, which I don't know if I really believe that. Every other small area, like Arkham Asylum or the Swamp, each one of those could take 3 hours. There it is. And that gives us a gold brick, which also tells us we cannot ignore the challenges. And doing all that still didn't get us to 50 million. It got us very close. So we've done maybe a couple things here, and everything up here, and everything up here. If we zoom out, I guess that's as much as we can. That still leaves at least 2/3 of Metropolis. All of this, 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 and all of this, and that's not even touching upon Apocalypse, which maybe if they made Lego games with no story at all and it was just a big open world and they sold it for like half price, maybe there is a way you could make a Lego game like that and that would work. In this particular case, as far as DC supervillains, that would have been an experiment worth thinking about instead of giving us a Justice Society story that really didn't work very well. Let's see. So far, all of these challenges do seem like they are in different areas. And there may be that there is one challenge per each area. That may very well be how it boils down. Let's see. Maybe steal some cars. And then we need to glide through the sky from Amusement Mile to East Gotham with the East Gotham monorail to be the best we can do. So apparently there's another monorail I've missed. Yeah, at best it seems like there's 4 or 5 challenges in Apocalypse and 1 challenge each way. Okay, and there is a monorail here. I guess that we would have to ride at some point. So let's not start the next episode flying to the beginning. An incredibly large amount of stuff could have been on these cliffs. And yet there isn't anything there. And this is definitely a point where Metropolis feels like you would have a lot of verticality, where you would stand up on top of buildings and do something like that, but there's nothing to collect there.
Fight for truth and justice continues.
I thought there might be an achievement for being Superman and standing on the Daily Planet globe. Interesting how big that balloon is. So, yeah. Still a decent amount of work to do in the open world. And I guess there's nothing else really to say about that. We've gotten 25% of the gold bricks and 14% of the missions and 18% of the races and 37% of the monuments. Noticeably though, there's a boss counter. And that doesn't make any sense. Because that implies to me that somehow there is some kind of boss fight that appears when you collect everything in the overworld. And maybe there will be. But it's obviously not a boss that shows up for every subsection. There's no icon that implies a boss. I don't even know what kind of boss it would be. So. You'd almost assume that it would be like a crime boss, a mobster. That's something you could definitely tell as part of a story, is that the mobsters and the criminals who don't have superpowers and who aren't supervillains could have been directly against all the DC supervillains characters. Speaking of characters, you still have a lot of X's to unlock and a lot more progress in general. We went from being at 47% completed to 49% completed in an hour of this episode, which is not really a lot. Yep, and I imagine that will be fairly consistent. It will get little bumps up in our percentage of completion here and there, but mostly it will be kind of a slow dragging experience. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites or support me on Patreon, there's a bunch of links down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.